This is the Discovery Corps, and I am Lynnae Spafford, and I have joining me for today Chris Spafford from Cap Concrete Coatings. Chris's story is anything but conventional. He earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology from UC Irvine, and then went on to complete his Doctorate of Optometry from New England College of Optometry in Boston. And his path through school was supported by the U.S. Navy, which funded his education in exchange for service. After years in the optometry field, Chris made a bold pivot. In May of 2018, he founded Cap Concrete Coatings in Vancouver, Washington, stepping away from a professional healthcare career to build something with his own hands. What started as a local operation has grown into a company that serves the entire Pacific Northwest from Seattle to Southern Oregon. Chris, it's wonderful to have you with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Lynnae. Look forward to this.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, your growing up, and what a young Chris dreamed of becoming.
I started my life in Redding, California, and was the oldest of three siblings, and mom and dad, Craig and Debbie. We grew up in suburbia, if you will, and grew up in the 80s and 90s, so got to ride our bikes outside and have fun before they locked us all down and made us look at iPads all day. So we had a great upbringing and spent a lot of time outside, really close to public school, so we got to play in the playground. So always got to go over there and just utilize that. Didn't start taking school seriously until high school, and that's when grades mattered, and so I buckled down and did what I needed to do to get where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to go into medicine, and that's really all I knew, and didn't start exploring options until which path to go into until I was already in college. So I picked an optometry degree, I picked a biology degree to pursue, and it wasn't until my second or third year that I started doing, internships or some explorative processes to sort of choose which one I wanted to go into. My desires were to have a family and to have a family life. I didn't like the idea of being on call, and I didn't like I'm not a big fan of blood as much. So I knew there was some things I knew that I didn't want to do, but I didn't know all of what was available. I joined a club, pre-med, pre-optometry, pre-dental club, and so through that organization, they had some requirements where you actually go do community service, or you do visit those kind of sites. And that is where I went into, a dentist's office. I went to an optometry office. I went to a medical clinic, to a hospital, and looked at all the different avenues, and quickly realized that I did not like hospitals. I did not care for dentistry, and optometry was the coolest thing I've ever, seen as far as the medical field. It checked every single box. 9 to 5, no after hours calls. There's optometry everywhere, so there's clinics, in every town. So it really gave me the option to live where I wanted to live. One of the big things I really wanted was to own my own business, and optometry affords that. Dentistry does. Medicine, it's a little bit more difficult, challenging to get into just being a private practice. So optometry really had checked all the boxes for me. And from there, went into optometry school in Boston. I took a year off of college. After college, took a year off to sort of work in a medical clinic and just stay in Southern California for a little bit longer. It was a nice area, and really just get my bearings before I decided to jump back into school. School is not my favorite thing to do. I like to do things, so I knew I needed it, and I wanted to do optometry, so I had to buckle down and do it. So it was nice to take a year off, get my bearings, and then jump back in and applied to schools in this area and in Southern California and in Boston and New York. I got into all of them, and I just really loved Boston as a city,
Okay.
as a place. And it was just, it looked like a fun place. And I was a young 20-year-old, and I wanted something fun. I wasn't sick of Southern California. I certainly could have went to that school as well. That was a really nice school, but it was like my backyard as far as where I went to college. And I just wanted to branch out and see something new. I knew that I wasn't going to spend my life on the East Coast, so I was like, this is my chance to be there. So I chose optometry in Boston, and it was a great choice. Very fun city, a lot of things to do, a lot of great people to meet, and not somewhere I'd want to, raise a family, but it was definitely somewhere where a young 20-year-old could get in a lot of trouble or have a lot of fun. So
Okay. You mentioned you had several opportunities to job shadow and internships and several clubs you were a part of. What do you think shaped the decision that you made to become an optometrist and was the most helpful step in that process?
it was the job shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew. I'm a Excel freak. I love Excel. I love putting things on charts, and so where do I want to live? I'd have all the different statistics about those places, and then I would compare. And this one's all green. This one, oh, this is red. Oh, this is a deal breaker. Have those kind of things. I did the same thing with the profession that I was looking for, and so I had all the boxes checked, but I didn't have the actual, like, what is this like? What's it like to be in a room and do the kind of things? What's the office experience like?
Yes.
And so when I went to visit the clinic, it might have been clinics, but I know of one particular, and I was like, this is it. Talked to the guy. The guy was cheerful. He was happy about what he was doing. He was excited and had nothing negative to say about, what he was doing. He owned his own business, so I was definitely attracted to that, attracted to all the different just aspects of what he was doing. And at the end of the day, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, closed his door, and he was back with his family and didn't have to think about work. So that was for me, that was the dream.
Yes.
It wasn't like, oh man, I just love eyeballs.
Yeah.
Eyes are really cool, and it was exciting to learn all the different aspects about the eyes. But just learning not just what goes into optometry, what goes into caring for a patient, but the whole picture. Really, it got like put together in that kind of situation.
That's a unique perspective because a lot of times it's a young person's passion that drives the career, but for you it was the logistics.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And you went the route of the Navy. What made you choose that path?
Probably a logistical decision. A lot of my decisions is logic. I just, I'm not huge on emotion or anything like that. So, but yeah, the offer that the Navy provided was 3 for 3. So I thought that was really cool. They're going to pay for 3 out of my 4 years, and then I work for them for 3 years. And once I was done, I'm done, or I could continue on. So I thought that was a really, really great deal, great opportunity. I did the math. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be this age when I get out of the Navy now, and be 27 about, I think. Excuse me. Be about 27 years old. I'm like, okay, then I'll be out of the Navy, and then I can, go where I want.
Yep.
And that's still within my reach and within my path. And then I only had 1 year to pay off, and I think I got it paid off within almost completely when I was in the Navy. So had a little bit left over, and then took care of that right before I got married. So that was definitely worth it. And if I could say anything, is like, try to stay out of debt as much as possible, because it really hampers what you can do, hampers your stress level and just hampers the opportunities that come. You got to take some because you're in debt. You got to take what you can. Whereas, when you're not, you can be a little bit more picky. So, yeah.
A lot of young people feel like they have to pick the right career and have it all figured out. What would you say to that?
Um, for me, again, I guess just coming from it more of a logical perspective, I think work is work. We all have to work. We have to do something. And if you don't like anything, then it's always going to be miserable, right? But if it's more of your mentality of what you do with your time. Are you gonna, could I work at grocery store and be content? I have, you know, I've worked in a whole bunch of different careers. I've been a counselor for my college. I've, done different things. And it's just where you're at and what it's just enjoying what you're doing at the moment. Um, as far as a career, like, yeah, I probably don't want to be a counselor for life. Not that I wouldn't like it. That's not what I wanted to do. And even optometry, I haven't done optometry now for quite a long time,
Yeah.
just because I've career changed already
Yep.
again. And that's nice about, again, just not being in debt. You can make those kind of decisions, those life decisions. But really, I mean, I if you're only looking out for like what is gonna make you, I don't know. I don't think the career for me defines who I am. What I do necessarily. I mean, I don't say, hi, I'm a concrete coating
Yes.
owner. Like, no, hi, I'm a Christian and I'm a father of five and, lovely wife. I like to, my hobbies farming and, going on hikes and, all those kind of things. Spend lots of time with the kids
Yep.
and rolling around on the carpet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So in 2018, you walked away from a career that you'd spent years and a doctorate building. How did it feel to walk away from something you had invested so much time and energy into and something that you just planned on doing long term?
Yeah. So in 2018, we did, me and a friend from church started Cap Concrete Coating sort of as a side business. And we both had time on our hands. He was an entrepreneur. I was a business owner in optometry, had a few clinics, and because I was 9 to 5er, and really, I think most of the time I was working 4 days a week. I just had time on my hands.
Yeah.
I had a cushy life, and I wanted to push myself a little bit, and so we found out about this company called Pentec, and through my grandfather who lives in Reading as well. And his neighbor was a physical therapist and started a side business with Pentec and thrived, did really well with it. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I could give that a shot as well. So we started it up and treated it very much like a side business. So didn't really do much, didn't really go anywhere, didn't make much of money off of it. We were really, it was really a different kind of business. So I owned my own optometry clinic, but I was my only employee.
Yeah.
Right. So I never had that experience with hiring people, working with others, and then the marketing, sales, production, all the different parts of this business
Yeah.
that had to come together to make it work was totally different than what I was doing before. Before it was like show up, do my work, and then maybe do a little bit of work on my computer and then go home. So this really stretched me, and we at the point, let's see, I think it was November of 2019. The partnership just wasn't working out. As far as the business, it wasn't making a lot of money for both of us to be a part of it. And so we decided, like, today is the day we're either going to close shop or one of us is going to take it over and work with it. and he decided that he wanted to bow out. And I said, all right, well, I'd like to just take a shot at it for by myself. And he was fine with that. We, parted ways. And then 3 months later, COVID hit. So in 2020, and the clinics all shut down. And so I'm like, wow, well, I'm very grateful to God that I have something to back up with.
Yep.
And so I'm going to just start doing this. It's on my lap. So I put all my energy now into Cap Concrete Coatings, started looking and tweaking our advertising, building out our website a little bit better, just here and there, just doing these little things. And then, COVID really just exploded everything because everybody was stuck at home. They had a little extra cash and nowhere to go. They couldn't eat out. They couldn't do other things. So they had money to spend and decided to fix up their homes. So that exploded the business right off the bat. We, took it. It went from, the Vancouver location. The next year we opened up in Medford, and the year after that we opened up in Lacey, and then just expanded and grew very rapidly. So, yeah. I hope I answered your question. I think I trailed off there.
No, you answered
Okay.
it. So what was the scariest part of making that transition? And how did your family and friends react? I imagine you got kind of a mixed reaction from people.
Certainly, yeah. Right off the bat, everybody knew COVID was happening, and
Yeah.
it wasn't anything. Didn't get a lot of pushback during that time, and as the years went by, COVID sort of disappeared or dissipated, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. They, people started going like, "Hey, weren't you an optometrist before? Like, are you going to go back to that? Are you going to keep your license? All this thing." And for the first, I think, 4 years, I kept my license up and,
Okay.
did my continuing education and decided, I think it was last year, just to go inactive. And I didn't necessarily feel like I was going to go back. Maybe I will someday still. I still have it. But I don't feel the urge or need to.
Yes.
And it is nice to have that as a fallback. But I've really put my heart and soul into Cap Concrete Coatings and building that out and growing it. And we've been in a lull for the last 2 years as far as just growth. And I've had to learn and grow with it and just learn what can take it to build up again. And so we're going back into a growth phase here.
What of your skill set as an optometrist do you think carried over to your concrete coating business? And what did you have to learn from scratch?
I feel like I had to learn a lot from scratch. I think work ethic, I had a strong work ethic, at least after, within high school and college, optometry school. So that was definitely something that I gained. I loved optometry is very much like psychology. You learn about how people respond and you get very intuitive. So, you think you're just doing 1 and 2. Well, I'm listening to all the little things that you're saying and the little maybe, or I can see behind and you're like squinting and like, so I can see the little nuances there and see the things that people do. And so that really helped me to in the sales realm, learn some of the things and techniques that it made sense to me, a lot of the things that they're teaching in sales. And so I don't like doing sales myself, but I was able to pass on some of that knowledge to others and be able to really gauge people and where they're at and whether tell them the truth or not. Sometimes it's hard still.
Yeah.
To know. But a lot of the business I had to learn on the fly and still am. And it's always changing. Governments change, laws and everything. People change, their habits change, the economy changes. gas prices change. There's lots of change. Everything that changes in the world seems to affect the business. So because we have our hands in so many different fields, sales, marketing, production, it affects everything. So, manufacturing even. So you see different things that just really affect the business. And I'm learning on the fly, and did learn on the fly. But yeah, it's little things here and there help me to get an edge. Obviously, having the Excel skills, being in
Yes.
Excel, a lot of my business I built out of Excel as far as learning, learning all the parts of my business. Put everything into Excel, and I like to automate it and make it so that it just spits out data for me. And so, built those kind of channels to where somebody could ask me a question about the business, and I could go, okay, here it is. That's what we do, and that's why we do it, and this is what it costs, and all
Yes.
that stuff. So, yeah,
Fascinating.
yeah.
Did you ever question whether you'd made the right decision?
Obviously not in the beginning because that was the only decision.
Yeah.
At least it seemed at the time because of COVID. But no, I haven't really looked back and been like, maybe a hint of regret every once in a while. You have those really rough days.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And then, bear down and grit and get through it. And then you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm having a good day today, so okay. Business ownership and going through all that, it's definitely a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has, I imagine, a great deal of fulfillment because it's something you've built with your hands.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's nice to see we're providing, jobs and an income, livable wages for employees, and the guys make great money doing installations. This is a want product, so we have customers that they have to pay top dollar to have the best of the best, and we train our installers. We pay for their certifications, and we have specific ways of doing every little step and just learning all those little things. Just like in optometry, you got to go through every step to get to the right answer, and with the floors, same thing. We have to do every single process the right way to lay down great floors. So yeah.
Can you tell me about one early mistake you made in the business and something you learned from that?
Just one.
I mean, you can give multiple if you want.
The most challenging thing has been finding the right people. So that
Okay.
is definitely the most difficult is people. You put your trust in I put my trust in my marketing team to build beautiful ads and get me leads. I trust my salespeople to go out there and do the process the way that we need it done and the way we want it done. Take the correct measurements so we're not short or high on the customer's end, and we make sure they're going through the process to make the sales, and not skipping appointments or doing those kind of things. Trusting that the installers are doing the entire process the way. And we have checks and balances. We make everybody take photos of what they're doing. And with the internet these days, we can see a lot of the process, but there's still a lot of trust that we put into people to make sure that they're doing it the way that we want it. And finding those right people has been, as soon as we get them, we hold on to them.
Yes.
and we pay well, and that's why they stay. But yeah, it's just finding all the right pieces and all the right players that are going to be that really want to do it, dedicated to do it the Cap way.
What's one character quality that you look for when you're looking to hire someone new?
I think the biggest one right now that's on the top of my head, because we're looking for a guy right now that has a lot of integrity and is passionate about what they do. And it's not necessarily that they have to absolutely I just love concrete
Yes.
and coatings. No, it's just I love what I do, and this is what I do is I put down these beautiful floors. So somebody that really takes pride in what they do is the kind of person, is at least, especially with the installation side. That's what we look for is somebody that really just like wants to put down beautiful floors for customers and cares about the details. That's a very detail-oriented job. Most of it, I mean, you see us making a big mess with the grinders. You see, we had the vacuums, but it looks like it's big and messy, but it's the little details that they're looking at and looking for that really makes it a standout installer versus just a regular installer kind of guy. Yeah.
So I'm curious, how has AI negatively and positively affected your business?
AI. Let's see. So I've been at the very beginning of when this was all coming out, I just was like, phooey. Didn't really pay attention to it. Didn't really care. Didn't want to, didn't really look into it all that much. Used Chat GPT, based on somebody's like, oh, you should try it and just use it, and did. And I was like, okay, well, that was pretty cool. Cool trick that you did, right? And it wasn't until I don't know exactly what it was. Could have been a podcast or some kind of thing, excuse me, where they were explaining what AI does and can do and demonstrating it. And I was just, like, take my jaw off the floor. I'm like, what? You can do all this stuff, and soon it's going to be driving cars and taking us places with no pedals and no steering wheel, and it's going to do this and that. And it's like, okay, I need to start paying attention to what's going on. And this is coming, and it's coming fast. And so I appreciate the skills and knowledge of Elon Musk, and so I really like to just latch on to what he's saying about things. And so yeah, I think when he says the future's just about to change and he's ready to change it, I think he does what he says, and he means it. It has positively changed our business. We did start using an AI chatbot and phone bot, and so they answer the phone, talk to customers, book appointments, and I'd say it's probably right at this point, it's over 50% accurate. It's probably about 75 right now. Okay. As far as how it responds and what it does. We have a human that is a backup, and so it listens to the conversations, makes sure that everything goes right. And then we also have a technician that changes things as we go on as well. And so he tweaks the conversations and stuff so that the bot continually learns. But I would say probably within the next couple months, the bot will be closer to 90%. And that's probably as good as it'll get, maybe 95%, only because every human's different. And so we're going to say like, well, I want it to say this and it said that.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to always be a little off or a little bit different. Or sometimes just say things that are off the wall, but who doesn't? Humans as well. We all say some funny things, or we're like, oh, I just had this conversation and I wish I did not say that. Well,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be similar to that, although they don't have feelings, so they don't care. So, but yeah, it's definitely, it's helped. Definitely my cost per lead is down, but the booking per lead is a little bit less. So we want to bring that up. And so as we train this bot and get better, then I suspect that it's going to be pretty much the same as when we had a human secretary. So it's there are some cost savings benefits to it. Yeah, I think that's the positive. The negative is, it definitely takes, you got to really watch it and monitor it and train it. And so there is a lot of effort in that process as well.
How have your customers reacted to the fact that they're chatting with an AI robot? Because I'm sure you get kind of a mixed crowd.
So some absolutely hate it. There are those. I will say that over time, and it's going to happen. No matter what, we're all going to be chatting to a robot. And I'm pretty sure that I have chatted to a robot for a company and never knew it. You may have had an experience like that too. You get off the phone and you're like, was I really talking to a human or
Yes.
not? And those are the ones that you're like, you just don't know. But wait, all my questions got answered and I booked my appointment. Like, wait, what? Okay, that was pretty cool. So a lot of people are coming around and we hear a lot like, oh, I really liked your bot. And we're like, okay. I never thought that I would say something like, oh, I really liked your
Yeah.
chat bot and I like talking to your robot. That sounds weird to me and foreign, but yeah, they're like, oh no, it was very pleasant. She did a great job. And so we're starting to see a lot of that where
Okay.
they're just, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to be doing. And so that people are just getting used to and accustomed to that kind of thing. And I think if you're more outspoken about it and just say, hey, if they ask, hey, are you a chatbot? Yes, I am. Okay. Where you're trying to hide it, then maybe people feel a little bit more offended.
Yes.
But we always give the person the opportunity to be like, hey, I want to talk to a human. Oh, okay. And they transfer it.
Okay.
Like they don't even, it's not like trying to get you to keep talking to the bot. Like some of those like banks
Yeah.
will like, stay in this loop until you press 1. Okay, now press 2. Oh, press 1 again. And so we don't do that. We just make it like, hey, I want to talk to a human. Then our bot, Sarah, she says, okay, and books it.
Okay.
Or transfers the call. Yeah.
Okay. How do you see AI changing the work world in the next 5 years?
Boy, 5 years? I can't. It's too far.
Okay.
That's
And the
way
next
too
year?
far. Yeah, the next year. We're going to see a lot of change, I think, in the next year. It's going to be interesting. I think the next year is going to be very exploratory, very much like, oh, does this work? It's almost like the .com era of the 90s where just like all this information flooded the internet and you're like, I can look this up and there's the answer. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And you had to scroll through all the pages. Oh, that's what I wanted. Whereas this, it's like the technology is growing and expanding so quickly. We're looking at AI, humanoid robots, cars that are driving themselves. And right now, the safety record of self-driving cars is better than humans. So it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the the bot assistants that are being created and the different kind of marketing material that I can get, from a bot. I put in into one of the bots or into one of the queues that just said, hey, can you turn my logo? And all I want you to do is change the words. We started a cabinet business. So I just want to change it from Cap Custom Concrete Coatings to Cap Custom Cabinets.
Okay.
And within seconds, then I just did sometimes you have to lay out a real specific response and
Yes.
it takes
Oh,
a whole dissertation for the bot to know what to do. I'm like, nah, I'm going to put one sentence. Boom, 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 do this. And boom, it did it. And then it gave me recommendations for a new logo. And it looked awesome. I was like, oh, that's
Wow.
a really cool logo. And it just was like, oh, hey, you might like this one too. And I'm like, oh, that's a weird thing to say for a bot. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use that one instead. So it created my logo without me even
That's
I just
incredible.
gave it a picture of my old logo and it made something brand new.
Oh, that is
So
incredible.
yeah, it took the features of it and just made something totally new. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and we could talk about all the different kind of things that it can do and what it will do in the future. In 5 years, man, that's just so far away now.
Yeah.
There's so many things that can be done.
And if
And
it
we-
keeps advancing at this rapid of a rate.
Oh yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah.
It's too hard to know. Now, if you look at different kinds of fields, then maybe you might be able to see the trajectory, like Elon Musk and space exploration. Okay, you see where he wants to go with that. And is that a good 5-year goal? Yeah, probably, or
Yeah.
10-year, whatever. But yeah, Yeah, it just
So what skills should young people be acquiring now to stay ahead of that advance?
so everybody is still going to want human interaction
Yes.
and human touch. You know, we are, you know, still, you know, people with emotions, and there is a psychological sense of you know, human to human connection. And so finding those fields that you know, promote those kind of things, I think are going to be most important. You know,
Okay.
you could go see a robot doctor.
Yes.
You could, you know, or a robot assistant to the doctor, right? So, you know, I think there's still going to be fields that humans will definitely play a huge part in. Uh, some of them not so much. It's going to be a little bit more hard, especially for probably the retail end and the service industry. It's going to hit hard. Secretaries already starting to
Yes.
see that.
Yes.
But even surgeons, I mean, some machines can perform surgery better than a human, are more precise,
That's
and
incredible.
yes, so that
Incredible and scary.
yeah. So could we have surgeons back in the future? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, that's one of those so far in the future
Yes.
that I don't
Just
know.
can't project.
But I mean, they're building AI technology into farming where it can detect weeds away from you know, it detects the plants and the weeds, and it can shoot lasers at the weeds and zap, 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 zap. No more pesticides.
Okay, I could use one of those.
Right? Yeah, like, oh wait, that's a really good thing. You know, so yeah, it's amazing what could be possible with the future, and it is very challenging how to navigate it. You know, there's going to be a ton of opportunity, and it is very difficult to say, like, oh, you need to go this direction. I would say don't necessarily ignore AI. You can't. That's going to be a very huge challenge. In the next 5 years, maybe not. You know, but you know, somebody that's looking for a long-term career, you're going to have to almost, you know, not have a crystal ball, if you will,
Yeah.
but you don't know, like, could AI affect this job, right?
Yes.
You know, Uber drivers gone, you know,
Yep.
like, you know, getting a hamburger at McDonald's gone. You know, there was so many different things that, you know, work related, but, you know, that could be gone. You know, CPAs, maybe, you know, you don't know.
Yeah.
What fields are going to still be around. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really is. It's a challenge. It's gonna be a huge challenge. So I think learning AI and, you know, like, focus on, like, definitely people are going to want human, like I said, human interaction. So like, if you want to be a dentist, like, go into that field knowing that, you know, what is happening in the future. Dentistry probably is going to be safe. It's very, very hands-on. There is some intuition to it. Computers really don't have the ability to have intuition as
Yes.
much. And, you know, they certainly don't have emotion. So there's anything that has sort of a psychological component to it, I think it'll be relatively safe. You know, doing the whole eye exam, you know, right now, I mean, you could almost have a computerized exam. But you know, where that technology was when I was in it, it was terrible. Like, the clinic that I worked at had had one of them where it was a remote doctor that did a thing over, and most of it was just computerized, and the glasses, they would just turn out terrible. And I would just have to keep fixing them till eventually they just turned that machine off, and I was the only one doing the glasses again. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm better. I'm better than a machine.
Yep.
All right. But one day it may not be. Who
Yeah.
knows? Or there may be assistants in that field where they're doing that. Farming probably is going to be relatively safe for a while, and we're going to utilize machines, but there's going to be a lot of human input, I think, still in there. So, yeah.
So you have a doctorate and run a trades company. What's your take on the idea that a 4-year degree is the only path to success?
I would say no. Certainly, if I was in optometry and I didn't go through the Navy, I'd probably still be in the debt right now. So I think there are definitely fields that you need a degree in. Definitely some different trades where even associate's degrees helps. But I don't think it's an absolute necessary thing. What a lot of people don't realize is if you start your career when you're 18, 19 years old, and somebody else starts their career when they're 22, 23 after college, you've got yourself a 4 or 5 year head start.
Yes.
Where you're, in those first couple of years, you're, started working up the ladder, right? You start at the bottom, you don't know anything. You learn a skill, they pay you more. You learn a skill, they pay you more, and you're already higher up on the ladder, and working your way towards different fields, different things, and there's a lot to say about experience versus just head knowledge. Where head knowledge may get you a little bit further is in particular fields, but also, if you wanted to start in management, even like an associate manager, that would give you a head start. But the management that I have, they don't have bachelor's degrees. They're managers. They're all real world experience guys. They've worked the ladder. They've done the hard jobs. They know what it takes. They know how, and then they just know how to communicate with their guys and get them to do what they need them to do. And I'm looking more for experience and heart than I am for head knowledge and a piece of paper.
Yep. So, Chris, where do you see Cap Concrete Coatings going from here?
We just secured an account with through Pentec with Home Depot, and so we're planning on growing the business. We have about 40 plus Home Depots in our market, so it's going to give us a huge amount of lead and lead potential through that. So I see it really expanding and growing that way. And we've also are going to be starting an internship program. So we have an event coordinator, and she does all of our business development, works on relationships with Home Depot, with the store managers and the district managers, and does all of our events. So that's one avenue. Also, internship in the office and internship just with the sales team. So we'll have different opportunities for people to see what it's like in this kind of field or in this kind of business. And,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure to have you with us today, and your story was fascinating. I think a lot of young people feel like when they pivot or change directions, they've failed and wasted years of schooling that they're never going to use again. But I think your journey is proof that that's far from the case, that you acquired skills in your early experiences that laid the foundation for the businessman that you are today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.